I would be so disappointed if it wasn't Chode, because look at this thing.
Yeah. We get it.
I mean,
Whatever it is, I think I see becomes a Tootsie Roll to me.
Welcome to the iKnowBadeaux podcast.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to the iKnowBadeaux podcast, coming at you from the local 218 studios. I'm here. I am Mayor Dave Badeaux, the city brainer, and with me, as always, is my brother.
Like shaking hands with a turkey.
Yeah, that's a good one. Say something stupid again.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, that's perfect.
nicely done.
And with us, as always, is the Councilman Gabe Johnson.
Dave, I want to give a quick tip of the cap
Oh, nice.
to the Brainerd 10U baseball team.
Yes.
That won the Gopher State Tournament of Champions. They are the champion of champions this year.
State champions.
State champions. They're going to the Twins game. They're going to get a big old ring with a bunch of jewels in it. And
I thought it was going to be one of those sucker rings. You
no,
know?
ring
no,
pop.
this looks like a World Series ring. But no, it's a tournament that you have to win a tournament to qualify for. And there were 32 teams there. And we went 6-0. Or I didn't do any. I drank high noons. The boys won all 6 of their games and won the championship. So good
But
on
he
them.
cheered loud enough that made a difference.
You created part of that team.
Yes.
Listen, I'm a firm believer that you in the stands, you control one thing, and that is the umpiring. You can do hindrance. Oh no, it's a whoop, whoop. We've already explained this. There's a whoop and there's a whoop. Positive whoos, negative whoos. Oh. You can though, because if you get after the refs a little bit, you can kind of sway some what do they call them? They call them makeup calls.
Yeah, they start second guessing. Well, maybe I am a little bit off.
Yeah, but if you get a little too much, then you do a hindrance.
You go over the edge.
Yeah. So you did your job. You
There's
did your job
a fine
excellent.
line there somewhere, and you got to figure out where that is and just ride it.
100% agree. Congratulations, though. And then your next kid's coming up as well. So he's going to be probably a couple years, right?
Couple years.
Probably 9.
Yeah, he's turning 7, so it'll be 2 years. till
2
he's
years,
here.
yep. Yeah.
So what you're telling me is that in a couple of years, our high school team is going to be very good.
Well,
We had 2 11-year-old teams this year who both won tournaments to qualify for Gopher State, and then the 9U team won Gopher State. So yeah, in a few years,
Yep.
in 6-7 years, we could have a really good program.
yeah, Maverick, his team is the VFW team, the 16-year-old team. They won their playoff game, so now they're hosting the regional, VFW regionals. So that'll be fun for them. They're really excited to get into that mix. So that's I think it's a round robin, I think is how they do that one, but I might be incorrect about that. But yeah, baseball program's looking up. Hey, anyways, enough about the baseball, enough about whatever it was that Scott talked about. Once again with us is, man, you know that voice so well. It is the wonderful Mr. Bill Satre.
Thank you. I'm glad to be back. I'm surprised I'm back so soon. Really.
Actually, what happened was Scott was going back and listening to the episodes again and just sent me a text that says, we need to have Bill Satre back on.
You are one pathetic loser.
Scott's fault.
Sorry, everybody.
I don't know what he was thinking because, god damn, I was like, holy shit, how much more can we let this man speak?
Go on and on forever.
Bill Satre, I know we did this last time, but let's do it again. 30 seconds to explain yourself. Go.
30 seconds to explain myself. I work in 30-second chunks, so this should be easy, one would think. To explain myself, it's been a hot minute since I was here last, so go back and check the other episode to see what it was I said, because I don't remember what it was. Overall, it's good to be back. Explaining myself, there's not much to explain. I'm here. I've been doing this for a long time, so, it's nice to be back in an environment where I could say things and not get myself in too much trouble.
Yeah, not too much. We will say inappropriate things. I don't know if you'll get in trouble or not. I can't control
And
that.
I mean, we're talking FCC issues here. I don't have to worry about those.
Wait,
Like we have to have lawyers on hand or anything like that.
No, we have nothing to do with that. Well, when we have a guest on, we typically like to play a game. I had enough time to put together a game, and so we are going to play a game real quick.
What in the world?
Everyone knows what time it is.
Game time. Who?
All right.
Nailed it.
Yeah, we never tell the guest.
I follow quickly.
You do. So this week's game is going to be a trivia game about what is in front of you there, Bill.
Candy.
Candy, and specifically
Candy's dandy, liquor's quicker.
the Tootsie Roll.
Oh.
And the reason is we just have entered parade season. A lot of.
Yeah.
Is that where this came from?
Well, it's still. It probably yes, it is where it came from.
Is that just what you picked up off the street?
Bill just threw that back down. No, this is not from the street, he said, even knowing that it probably is. This is a bag of candy that I stole for my kids. But the reason why I stole
They picked up off the street.
that they probably picked up off the street, except for the specific item, the Tootsie Roll. There's a reason why we are going to do the Tootsie Roll, and that is because in my research for 1994, we just happened to come across a little something, a little ditty, if you will. And I don't know if you know if you remember this or not, but it's a Tootsie Roll.
Cotton candy, sweet and yellow. Let me see the Tootsie Roll. Come on, just make that Tootsie Roll.
The guy who made that song is like a horrible pedophile.
Oh, I don't know this.
Scott.
No.
Oh, was it not that one? Yeah, that for sure.
Well, that's not one of the trivia questions.
Yeah.
So
That's good.
let's go ahead and start the game then. How about that?
Yeah, we'll skip the song.
I was gonna play the song.
We'll skip the musical rendition.
No, I think I was wrong. It's a different song, but it just also happened to be on one of the Jock Jams volumes.
Nope, we're gonna skip that now. We're gonna go ahead and skip the song that is by the pedophile, but we're gonna do a whole.
We don't know that it was.
Well, even
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
there's a whole movie in movie
Allegedly.
theaters right now about going after pedophiles. We don't need to be, associated with that. However, if it was, I apologize. This is actually a game that is both about the candy, the Tootsie Roll,
Oh, good.
and the song, the Tootsie Roll. So, Bill, you a fan of the song Tootsie Roll?
I'm familiar.
You can't say you're a fan now because
I was a fan.
Right. Well,
Until about
I might have been at one
37
point.
seconds ago.
we used to play it at a lot of weddings, and then something happened. I don't remember what it was.
people still play Michael Jackson. So,
Well, that's true.
Scott, we're going to skip you. Gabe, fan of the Tootsie Roll?
I was until Scott spoke.
Well, here we go. Let's just get started. Of course, with our game, as always, there is one rule, and that is once you win, I will look at you and say something to your fans. You must say hello and congratulations. If you say anything other than hello and congratulations, I am the winner. So you're going to try and remember that, Bill, one more time. If you win, I say hello to something, or say something to your fans. You say
Hello and congratulations.
and congratulations. So here we go. Are we ready to get started?
Never remember that.
It's okay. That's the point.
And you shouldn't.
It's literally the entire point. Question number one, you are going to go first here, is multiple choice. Bill, in the 1994 song Tootsie Roll,
Heard of it?
actually it says in 1994, the song Tootsie Roll came out. What was the name of the Miami bass group that was behind it? The style of music is known as Miami bass. Who was the group behind it? Is it A, Tag Team? Is it B, the Freak Nasties? Is it C, the 69 Boys? Or is it D, 1990 Quad?
69 boys.
He says 69 Boys, over to Scott.
I think it's Tag Team.
He says Tag Team, over to Gabe.
B.
He says B, the Freak Nasties. The Freak Nasties are actually Da Dip.
Oh.
It's not the Freak Nasties, it's just Freak Nasty. The A Tag Team has their own song.
Tag Team back.
yeah.
Yeah. Is that not the same song?
It is not,
And let me see that.
it is not the same song. The correct answer is the 69 Boys. Point to Bill.
A little advantage there.
Yeah, just a touch. The radio guy.
The album's name is 1990 Quad. So I found that really funny because one of the lyrics in the song, I thought they said 1994. Nope, they say 1990 Quad.
Quad.
They do.
Quad means 4.
Yeah, but it's amazing that you made it sound the same. So good job. All right,
So
one
the
point.
69 Boys.
The 69 Boys.
How did we not know that?
I don't know, and I actually,
How is that not just common knowledge?
it should be common knowledge. It
Missed
should
them
be.
on tour, I guess. Huh?
Something.
Probably because they're pedos.
And now we know why.
Which one is the new? Never mind.
Yeah,
Never
yeah,
mind.
drop it.
Dropping
Drop
it. Moving on. Question number 2. Question number 2. The actual Tootsie Roll was invented by an Austrian immigrant, Leo Hirschfeld, when he patented the process that gives them their unique texture. This is over to Scott. In what year were they created?
Do I give multiple choice?
You do.
Okay.
A, 1907. B, 1921. C, 1933. Or D, 1969.
1921.
He says 1921. Over to Gabe.
I like 21. That's real 21 brand on their logo, but I'll go 33.
Says 33. And over to Bill Satre.
I think they're older than that. I'm going to go 07.
The correct answer is 1907.
Nice.
According to the research that I did, which could be 100% incorrect, as always, 1907 is when he came up with the patent. 1908 is when they were actually first produced for the public. So
Interesting.
yeah, going way back with the candy. Wow. I brought a selection here in front of you. Part of the reason why I actually was interested in doing the Tootsie Rolls is because we had the Tootsie Rolls in the house, and I ate a couple, and surprised at how well I actually like Tootsie Rolls. You guys fans of Tootsie Rolls?
I was until we started getting into the dental work part of life.
Oh, okay.
And they're terrible on dental work. I'm going to tell you
Really?
that straight up.
They're not as chewy as most of the other chews that are out there. Gabe, Scott, do you know the Tootsie Roll?
I don't dislike Tootsie Rolls, but the parade float I did for you this year, I was in it for you this year. You got us Mambas to
Mambas.
throw. I'll take a Mamba over a Tootsie Roll any day of the week.
Yeah.
Mambas are superior, for sure. Scott?
I would never pick them
Yep.
Intentionally.
intentionally.
Yes.
But when you have them, it's pretty dang good.
It's pretty good.
Pretty dang good.
I'm thinking the same thing. Not something that I would normally have, but when they're in the house, which when you have kids, there's so many holidays that are surrounded by candy. And this is one of the cheaper options to get a big bag of candy for.
And they're always left over.
Yes. they're
Because
always-
nobody ever eats them.
Yeah, nobody ever eats
Because
them.
nobody
but
ever wants to eat them.
Every other piece of candy is better, but if it's my only option, it's not terrible.
It's still candy.
The kids are freebasing pixie sticks, and you're like,
Yeah.
I guess I'll just have to settle for this.
I was surprised that they were referred to as being adjacent to like a caramel, which is actually very true. They're very caramel adjacent, and that kind of changes the way that I view them.
Oh, now we're comparing them to caramel?
No, they're not. But the way that they're produced, it's caramel adjacent. You know, it's not really a taffy.
I was going to say, aren't they more of a taffy?
No, because taffy is like pulled, and there's no pulling of. At least as far as I've seen, there's no pulling of the
Well,
Tootsie
then
Roll.
how do they get the shape?
Extruding? It's pushed, and then
So it's like a Play-Doh thing, right?
Yeah.
The old
Yeah.
Play. Did you ever
Yeah.
have one of those? The Play-Doh?
I did,
Play-Doh?
yeah.
You
Yeah.
Squeeze it through the thing, and it looks like it's pooping.
yeah, usually, typically that's what it looks
Especially
like.
with Tootsie Rolls.
All right. Anyways, Bill is up 2-0. The 69 Boys, as we said, are the purveyors of the wonderful song Tootsie Roll. However, in the song, they say that they're backed up by the Quad City DJs. Also involved is 95 South, which is another group out of Jacksonville, Florida. They were connected.
Also a highway in Jacksonville.
Well, and that's what they're named after. So there you go. Yeah.
What are the 69 boys named after?
You know what's really funny about that? Turns out they were all born in 1969.
69 in the place to be.
That's what they say.
I would have thought twice about it though.
Yeah, I don't know why you would even say that that's the case. Because come on, you're the 69 Boys, which I don't know. Maybe they were worried that people were going to get the wrong ideas.
I'm just going to show you this because you need to see it.
Uh-oh, we got another 69 boy here.
Official member. He's pulling out his wallet. It almost crumbled when he took it out. It's so old. It just fell apart in his hand.
Real deal.
All right, so 69 Boys backed up by Quad City DJs. 95 South is involved. 95 South was also connected to the 1993 tag team hit, Whoop, There It Is.
What you were thinking of.
What is the actual title of the song, Whoop, There It Is? Is it A, Hoot, There It Is, with a T? Is it B, Whoop, There It Is? Or is it C, Whoomp, There It Is? And this is over to Gabe, I believe.
Oomp.
He says oomp with an M. Over to Bill Satre. Hoot, hoop, hoomp.
I think it's hoomp.
He says hoomp as well. Over to Scott.
I also think that.
The correct answer is hoomp. There it is.
I heard that song.
Shakalaka.
I got a fun fact for you about that. So I said that 95 South was connected to the 1993 hit by Tag Team. They weren't actually connected to the Tag Team version. In early 1993, 95 South came out with a song called Hoot, There It Is, which has the exact same chant within it. Hoot, there it is. A few months later, having recorded at the same studio, Tag Team came out with their version of Hoomp, There It Is.
So Hoot There It Is was the original?
Hoot, There It Is the original.
From the 95 South.
And from 95 South, and then Hoomp from Tag Team came out so I think it was, I want to say it was February and May were the two releases. From what I saw, Hoot, There It Is actually did better commercially until the whole thing of getting involved with ESPN and being on, as you said, Jock Jams. However, the original hit was Hoot, There It Is by 95 South. And then a mere couple months later, Hoomp, There It Is came out. They settled out of court. They had a gentleman's agreement because they didn't want to get lawyers involved. A gentleman's agreement was put into place, and Hoomp then went on to become the more well-known title.
Interesting.
Very interesting. All because of the Tootsie Roll. Hey, speaking of Tootsie Rolls, who did Leo Hirschfield name the Tootsie Roll after? And this one's back over to
Tootsie.
Bill, that is in the lead.
Tootsie Collins.
No, that's Bootsy Collins, which Bootsy Collins is amazing, baby. But you know Bootsy Collins.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
Bootsy Collins, 70s funk. Oh, man, if you ain't getting down in the bedroom to Bootsy Collins, you ain't getting down.
You're number one with a bullet on my charts. You're a total smash, baby.
All right, so who did Leo Hirschfield name the Tootsie Roll after? Is it A, his daughter? Is it B, his dog? Is it C, his horse? Or is it D, the 69 boys?
I think it was his horse, actually.
Okay, over to Scott.
I will agree with that guy.
Okay, his name's Bill.
My mistake.
Bill Satre. He's actually he's a two-name guy. He's not a Satre. He's not a Bill. He's a Bill Satre.
Thank you.
Gabriel Johnson.
Daughter.
He says daughter. The correct answer is A, his daughter. Oh. So you two gentlemen are thinking of the horse named Snickers. The candy
Was
bar.
I, though?
I don't know.
Well,
I was just agreeing with what he said. He sounded like he knew what he was talking about.
Well, I was thinking of the horse named Snickers. What
So
I was
was I.
thinking of.
Yeah,
So in a roundabout way, you were. Yeah.
the candy
Just
bar.
through your brain.
Yeah, the candy bar, the Snickers, is actually named after a horse, whereas Tootsie was the name of Leo Hirschfield's daughter, or her nickname. All right. Speaking of,
Seems like an odd name to name your kid.
Yeah.
Hey,
It was
there, Tootsie.
1907.
Hey, Tootsie, what do you want to name the kid?
well, speaking of, it was 1907. It's
true.
She's lucky she wasn't nicknamed Pussy. So
That's
there's that for you.
last name galore.
Yeah. Or Park.
If only that's what the candy was called.
So I don't know if you
Hey,
know.
would you guys like some pussy galore?
Comes in a lot of flavors. None of them peach, oddly enough. Bill, we have a new park here in Brainerd, and we named it after a gentleman whose name is Lyman P. White.
The father of Brainerd.
The father of Brainerd. His nickname was Pussy.
Yeah. Awkward.
Well, awkward in that people now have started calling it Pussy Park. And somebody addressed that to me and said, "Are you aware?
Did you know?
Did you?" And I said, I couldn't be more delighted. I could not be more delighted that you have started to refer to that as Pussy Park. So I don't know what people thought I was. What did you think I was going to get upset that you named it?
What's my nickname?
Oh no! Please, whatever you do not refer to that.
Hey, clever name? No, don't use it. Don't use it.
From the guy who wanted to draw penises in the high school parking lot.
Hey, now that's last episode. You got to let people go back and catch on to these wonderful details. Okay, so let's move back to.
There should be a link somewhere to take you back to that part of the.
There probably is. Go back and listen to the
Smash
previous
that
episode.
like button first.
Yes, yes. So going back to the Tootsie Roll, as opposed to the Tootsie Roll. By the way, the song Tootsie Roll spelt Tootsee instead of IE. So there is a difference there.
You know why? See that little R right after the
Yeah,
roll?
that's
why.
A smart move. A smart move.
They didn't like lawyers. We've already established that.
We have established that. All right, Gabe or Bill, you were up 3 to Gabe's 2 to Scott's 1. Only a couple questions left here. In the 1994 classic Tootsie Roll, what isn't it? And this is over to Scott. Isn't it the butt flop? B, the butterfly? C, the backslide? Or D, the bump and glide?
The hell's a butt flop?
It's got to be that. Well,
I
no.
sure hope it is.
Well, no, because Dave wouldn't have made that up. So that's definitely in the song.
What were they again? I stopped listening after butt flop.
The Tootsie Roll isn't A, the butt flop, B, the butterfly, C, the backslide, D, the bump and glide.
I'm going to go with the butterfly.
I'm going with the butterfly.
The butterfly. Over to Bill Satre.
It's got to be butt flop. It's got to be. Come on.
So the song starts off, the butt flop. That's old. Let me see your Tootsie Roll. However, it does not start off that way because I thought it started off the butt flop.
I thought it did too.
Very specifically in the song, they say, it ain't the butterfly, it's the Tootsie Roll.
Oh.
So evidently a dance move in reggae for a long time, a long-standing dance move in reggae was the butterfly, and it just involved you moving your knees in and out, i.e. butterfly wings.
That little, yeah.
Essentially. It is essentially the chicken dance of the
Right.
legs.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Not a butt flop, though. Huh?
I always thought it started off the butt flop. I always thought it said, it ain't the butt flop.
I'm
but
extremely disappointed.
it ain't the butterfly. It's the Tootsie Roll.
The butterfly, that's old.
Bill, no point there. Gabe, you have now
So
tied
they
it,
they're saying butterfly,
but it sounds like butt
and
flop
your
in my head.
entire life you thought they were saying butt flop.
Since 1993,
Misheard lyrics are the best.
30 years, I have thought that
So he
they
did make up the butt flop. He's been thinking it for 30 years.
30 years, I thought it was the butt flop.
It's not the butt flop.
Nope. Well, I knew that they said it ain't the butterfly.
Butterfly, it's too
So that part of the song was clear. However, I thought it said the that's old about the butt flop. It was not the case.
When do you think they said that? If you know they said it's not the butterfly.
When I looked it up to do this game is when I learned that it was not the butt flop. I thought that the Tootsie Roll was about rolling your butt.
The butterfly.
We're talking about flopping your butt.
Well, I thought that no, you're not butt flopping. You're rolling.
Okay.
Hey, speaking of
Rolling action.
Speaking of weird names, Gabe and Bill, you are tied. Scott, you have only 2 points. Speaking of weird names, although not the original size, the most common size of the Tootsie Roll is an individually wrapped, short, fat version. What is the company's official name for that size? And Bill, you have picked up one here.
That is this.
That is probably the most traditional size that people think of. It is not the original. The original is the big log with the almost like the Toblerone. It has the slits to
Right.
it.
Yeah.
They're even longer than this
It's
guy.
bigger than these.
Yep.
Yeah.
These
Yeah,
the long and skinny ones, which I will say is the second best option, is referred to as the Tootsie Roll Junior. So the long skinny ones are the Tootsie Roll Junior.
Replaces the candy cigarette for those
Yes.
of us who lived in that
Candy
generation.
cigar. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. As you can see, there are no original Tootsie Rolls because I ate all those because those are the best version. You got to like actually bite into it and kind of.
So those still come in the cardboard sleeve and
Yep.
yeah, candy bar wrapper.
And in this mixture, it was a shortened version of it. So it was still thick and juicy. However,
Juicy double.
Too bad you didn't let us see that Tootsie Roll.
Well, that's it ain't the butt flop. However, the most common size that most people think of is the version that is here, is the short and fat version. The question is, what is the official name? The official name from the company. And I believe we're on to Scott.
No clue.
Okay, we're going to go with Scott first. Is it A, chodes? Is it B, nipples?
Oh, please.
Is it C, midges? Or is it D, minorities?
These are all awesome. Oh my God, it'd be great if it was any of them.
So what is the official name? Chodes, nipples, midges, or minorities?
Oh my God, it can't be chode.
No.
It can't. It cannot be chode.
But it has to at the same time. It must be. Oh, God.
Can I get a chode? I want to chew on this chode.
Well, evidently everybody prefers the chode.
That's what she said.
Nipples? I bet it's nipples, but I'm going to go with midges.
I'm going with midges.
Gabe's going with midges as well. Bill Satre.
I would be so disappointed if it wasn't chode because look at this thing.
Yeah. We get it.
I mean,
Bill, your final answer.
I'm going with it. I'm sticking to it.
So it turns out that it is not chodes. B, nipples is actually a slang term for, or Tootsie Roll is actually a slang term for nipples. So it is not nipples. It's the other way around. It's clearly not minorities.
All right.
It is, of course, C, midges.
Clearly, I cannot select the glass in front of me.
Dang it.
So that means, Gabe, you are into the finals. Scott, you have now tied Bill Satre. This is perfect. This doesn't happen very often. It is actually perfect. So we have an opportunity here for one of you two individuals to make it onto the finals to showdown against Gabe. The semifinal question is, what is the euphemistic term for a butt that is used in both the song Tootsie Roll and Whoomp, There It Is? And Bill, you get to go first. This term is used in both songs. Is it A, fanny, B, badonkadonk, C, rump, or D, derriere?
Rump.
He says rump. Over to Scott.
It's a good time for the word rump.
Yeah.
When did rump shaker
But
come
derriere was pretty popular in
derriere.
1994.
Yeah.
My ears perked up at derriere. I'm going with derriere.
The correct answer is D, derriere.
Throw your hands in the air.
Man.
Rump, I believe, the rump shaker, I believe, was
yeah.
a couple years earlier. I can't remember exactly if it was 91, 92. I think it was one of those 2 years.
That's what Rex in effect.
Yes, yeah. Fanny is right up in there as well. That's a pretty 90s term. There.
There's a mashup on YouTube. It says it's by the artist Pretty Lights. I don't know if that's
Oh,
accurate.
I love Pretty Lights.
But it's if you just go to YouTube and type in paper rump, it's
Okay.
rump shaker and MIA's paper planes
Oh, nice.
put together, and it works beautifully.
That's awesome.
I definitely recommend you check that out.
At some point in my head, I think I was like overlaying some of those songs together too. And it could have happened.
It's literally the only reason I did that. I mean, those are the only one that stuck out as not being as badonka, but badonkadonk. That's much after.
Yeah, but you
Trace
can throw your
Atkins.
hands in the air and shake your derriere.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be in a song.
It's going to be a song, but is it in both songs?
And it
All
wasn't a
right.
honkatonk badonkadonk because that's a totally different genre.
Completely different genre. Bill, I'm sorry, you have failed.
I have failed.
You failed. You're no longer with us.
I was a little worried for a second. I didn't have any points for a while there, and then I just kept.
Not going to
riding
lie,
Gabe.
they had me in the first half.
Storming back. All right, the final question for this week's game. It is. I'm just gonna wait for you to do that. That's okay. Just have at that wrapper. Could you get it into the microphone some more? It was worse than you thought, Scott. It was worse than you thought. All right. Okay. According to their website, how many Tootsie Rolls does the Tootsie Roll Industries produce each day? The company that makes the Tootsie Roll Industries, produces a specific number of Tootsie Rolls. Gabe, you can decide to go first or second.
Scott, go first, and I'll guess more.
Okay, Scott's going to go first.
Guess more. All right, 90 billion.
Scott, according to their website, how many Tootsie Rolls does Tootsie Rolls Industries produce each day?
No multiple choice.
Nope. We're just throwing a number out.
Each day, Tootsie Rolls. Now, are we talking midges, nipples, or chodes?
Minorities.
Yeah, sorry.
Only minorities in this case.
4 million.
4 million. Over to Gabe.
Over.
The correct answer is just under 69 million.
What are the chances?
It's actually not. It's actually not that close to 69 million. It's only 64 million, but I really wanted to say 69.
Nice.
Gabriel Johnson, you are our winner.
Of course.
64 million Tootsie Rolls are produced each day. How many times do you think that someone has played the song Tootsie Roll in the Tootsie Roll factory?
I imagine 2 weeks after it came out, it was banned.
Yep.
It's like in Wayne's World, they have the sign.
No, seriously.
Except the only notes that they play have nothing to do with Tootsie Roll at all. Mm-hmm. Gabriel Johnson, you are this week's winner.
Of course.
Go ahead and say something to your fans.
Hello and congratulations.
Oh, hello and congratulations has been had. A fantastic little round there, I thought.
I like me a
so
good Tootsie
strong.
Roll.
Yeah. I thought it's very interesting. One, the year that it started, 1907, that is an old candy.
Yeah.
And there are older candies, obviously. But like you said,
Yeah, caramel.
Right.
Yeah.
Actual caramel?
It feels very 20s-ish to me. 20s, 30s is kind of what I was thinking as well. You said you're a fan of them. Like how do you feel about like if somebody just came with just a bag of Tootsie Rolls and handed it to you?
Are they fruities or chocolate?
Well, let's talk about the Fruities real quick.
Yeah.
The Tutti Fruities.
Tutti Fruities. I'm actually surprised that there are two different versions there's the Fruit Chews, there's the Tootsie Fruit
Right.
Chews, and then there's the Tutti Fruities.
Yep.
I believe the Tutti Fruities have more flavor to them.
They're better than the fruit chews.
I think so. But the Fruit Chews, not bad.
These are a little chewier.
A little bit.
There's that. The Tutti Fruities are a little more condensed.
A little more fruity,
Yeah.
you would say. So hold on. Your analysis is that the chews are more chewy.
Yeah, they're just
And that the Fruities
are
more fruity.
exactly.
Oh, nailed it.
That is exactly
Glad to have you
right.
with us.
So glad I could make it.
True or false to the fact that the Tootsie Roll Pop, if you get the star on it, you get a free Tootsie Roll or Tootsie Pop. True or false to that?
I thought you had to get like 4.
Who's giving away these free Tootsie Pops?
One,
I'm just wondering.
three,
You got to roll your R.
3.
I'm asking a question. Is it true or false?
It has to be false because who's going to be handing out the free Tootsie Pops?
He says-
Yeah,
he
what are you
says
going to
false.
do? You got to take it back to the store and go, hey, I want my freebie.
I don't want your garbage.
What are we doing with it? It is absolutely false. There's never been anything that's ever been expressed by the company saying that that's the case. It's one of those urban legends that just popped up much. I almost said much like Richard Gere. Which I don't know why my head went straight to that. If you're not aware
Just
of
an urban legend, not real.
Like Richard Gere.
well, it must have been the Tootsie Roll connection there. If you're not aware of the Richard Gere urban legend, go look it up.
What's that he doesn't exist?
No, that he took a dump on a glass table over top of somebody. Are you not aware of this?
What
There's
I have no idea what you're talking
there
about.
is a Richard Gere
Why would you even make that story up?
I don't. Well, that's just it. I think that's why it became urban
It's probably
legend.
real. Why would you make that up?
I just want to know why that's where my head immediately went to. As soon as I said urban
Tootsie
legend,
Rolls.
it was-
Richard Gere.
Like that time that Richard Gere.
yeah, Richard Gere taking a dump on a glass table.
Amber heard it all over the.
Yeah, interesting though that could be the case because there's no truth to it whatsoever.
The table was glass. Like, who cares?
And
The guy just on the table.
But if you collect 4 wrappers, you get another round of it. I do really appreciate that, Gabe, where you just, who's collecting these and why? Why would we ever do that?
But I do remember as a kid, you always look to see if you had the star on it. And then you save it
You saved it.
because it's going to get you a free one somewhere.
Yeah.
And then you'd lose
And then
it.
it turns out nobody's handing out free Tootsie Pops in exchange for garbage.
No, they're yeah. What happens when you bring the stem back? It's the stick. You fan of the Tootsie Pop?
I like the Tootsie Pop. The Tootsie Pop was actually more popular to me than the Tootsie Rolls. And it was because of that stupid owl commercial, I think, more than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, so in the 90s, there was a version called Tootsie Pop Drops. Did you remember those at all?
I don't remember
So
those.
they were individually wrapped Tootsie Pops without the stick.
Oh.
So they were like a cough drop version of
I said like a Jolly Rancher.
Jolly Rancher. Sure.
Only you chew it after the third bite.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Well, that's why I liked them. You can still get them. You can, I believe Amazon has them. I think you can get them at a few candy stores that
Very
are out there.
exclusive.
Yeah. Very well, prior to Amazon, they're probably pretty exclusive.
Yeah.
Then Amazon's like, it exists. We might as well sell it.
Right?
If you had to pick a flavor of the Tootsie Pop, which version would you go with?
Of the flavors outside of chocolate?
The Tootsie Pop.
The Tootsie Pop.
What color?
specifically.
Oh, the pops. I already picked. I got this here, cherry one. This is the one.
Okay.
I like that one better
Yeah. Than the chocolate.
than the chocolate.
Which is it's a weird version that they have a chocolate.
Chocolate
Covered
is
in chocolate.
Weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's too much chocolate. Chocolate and chocolate.
Yeah.
And just a chocolate hard candy
Yeah.
Chocolate sugar is weird.
is bizarre.
Yeah. It's the first time I've ever said chocolate sugar. That I don't know.
How many flavors are there?
Oh, I don't know. That's a great question. I actually don't know how many flavors there are. There's
Not that many.
So I
No.
can see two in front of me, so I know of two.
Yeah,
I can think
right.
of red and
There's-
brown.
and then there's a blue.
a blue, and then there's a dark red
Purple.
as well. It's like a purplish
Yeah.
red as well, which is weird. That's a weird combo.
Yeah, it's like a grape chocolate. That's the problem. It's like grape.
Well, that's
chocolate.
just
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So there's the
Does not
blue,
like.
the let's call it maroon, the red, the
They put the
chocolate.
blue and the red together and they made a maroon.
I think that's what happened. I think it was on accident.
Hey, that works.
They left him in the box, turn the lights out, and see what we get.
It's still sugar.
Turns out still. It is interesting to me as well. Well, there is also orange as well. Orange is in there.
yeah.
And that's the only ones I remember. There may be more. Interesting to me though that like the whole commercial with the owl. You know, how many licks does it get to the center of the Tootsie Pop? I wanted to add that as one of the questions. However, it's all over the board. They're on their own website. They have links to studies that have been done by universities, of course.
Well, yeah. Do you have cotton mouth?
Yeah.
There's so many variables.
Oh
Yeah.
my God!
Yeah.
Have I been drinking? What else
Wild.
have I been doing?
Yeah, wildly different.
Who's licking it?
All right, it's your turn.
I just got back from the U of M. My daughter had her orientation, which now is a 2-day ordeal, by the way. I didn't know that. I thought we were just going down in the morning. We were going to come back at night. No, they need to stay overnight. Then you as a parent, of course, if you don't live in that area, have to then stay overnight.
That seems weird to me.
Well, it did until I saw the kids and was like, okay, no, you figured out that these kids are not ready for anything. That generation
Not
is
ready for an orientation.
no, not ready to be like, okay, now mom and dad have dropped you off. I'm sure what happened a couple of years ago is mom and dad dropped everybody off and
Bailed.
shit was crazy.
Absolutely.
right?
Well,
Like,
my daughter went to school during COVID, so her orientation was all
Yeah.
virtual, all that, and
Yeah.
it was just don't even enter the building, just drop her off on the curb
Yeah.
at university and say see you later.
yeah, and so I think there it.
Like a homeless pet.
That's really what it is.
It's like
It's just bizarre, though. This whole thing was bizarre. They had us. It was basically like going to a conference that didn't amount to anything at the end, right? It was just like, we're going to learn all this information, but they separate you from your kids, and then so all the parents are in one room learning the same information that the kids are learning, and then you come back together.
God, it's like sex ed
was-
in the 80s.
The parents were leaving and then coming back.
Yeah.
All
they-
right, kids. Well, we're
separate
gonna
them up there.
we're gonna talk about penises now. So, dads, you're gonna take a hike.
You guys are gonna.
Let me see the Tootsie Roll.
I think we hit a.
We're getting back to that.
Yeah, we hit a
Oh, we're gonna visit that one again.
hit a chord on that one. But yeah, having just experienced that, it does not surprise me that there are a bunch of universities that have done studies on how many licks to get to the center. Because why not, right? Yeah. And as we know, Gabe, that's where the funding comes from. Like that's where the real money is.
The government wants to know how many licks it takes to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop.
Yeah, people don't realize that funding for these universities, like you look at like the football team, and you're like, oh yeah, look at how much money these football teams make off of their the rights to their television, which is a ton of money. It is nowhere near the amount of money they get from the government to do stupid studies about how many licks. And guess what? It turns out we don't know. There's like 15 different answers, and it's like somewhere between 100 and 500. That's not even close. That's not even in the same ballpark.
No.
It's in the 100 ballpark.
No, it's not. It's not within the 100 ballpark. It's 5 times the 100.
Yeah, but you're not in the
Not in the
thousands.
thousands yet.
Well, it's true. This is true. However, we're talking.
If you group your numbers by tens, hundreds, thousands, and put them in ballparks.
All right, I'll give you that. I see where your logic is going with this now. However, we're not. We're talking about licks. This isn't some magical like mystical thing here. It's a lick. How can we be this far off? And I did
There's a lot of variables.
Well, don't worry. They broke it down into categories based off of race and gender and everything possible. They got to know what how many licks does it take the Pakistani? I don't know.
Has anybody here licked to the center of a Tootsie Pop before?
Never made it.
Well, that's the other thing too.
I never have.
I've tried many times.
I'm like the owl.
Has anyone here ever licked a Tootsie Pop? Not one time ever. It goes in your mouth.
Crunch.
That's it. You bite it. Nobody's ever just licking. No one's ever licked a lollipop, even.
And they're flat.
We get bored, and then it's like, all right, I'm done with this.
It is an interesting conundrum. What is happening at this company?
Why do you care how many licks it takes?
What is happening at this company where people are making up bullshit about your garbage and asking what you do? That's like asking, like, how many times does it take you to rub it on your arm?
I know how many times until I.
If you rub it on your arm 47 times and it has an Indian with an arrow and a star,
You'll get a free one and a concussion.
no, it turns out you get a bunch of sugar on your arm and now you have trash.
Now you have ants.
If you do it long enough, you have diabetes. Oh my god!
How many licks does it take to get diabetes? There's a study
1, 2,
we need to fund.
3.
Oh, man.
You don't want a fish sandwich?
I'm sure.
I bet they would end up in the same ballpark. On that one.
But at the same time, that's a better study. That's something the government should be interested in. How much diabetes is specifically brought to you by Tootsie Roll Pops? And does the stick make a difference? I have tried many times to do it. Once you get really close, you get to that where you
I'm not surprised.
not licking it though, not licking it. Just pop it in your mouth and try to survive. Mostly that's because of my.
Well, how are you quantifying it?
I'm not quantifying.
That's
I'm just
the problem.
Seeing,
So you're not counting.
I'm
So
seeing.
you've not
no,
tried to do it.
no. What I've tried to do
That's
is
how many sucks does it take?
Well,
Now you're sulking. It's
One
not the
real
same.
long one.
typically it's me versus my ADHD is what it is, right? Because I want to bite it immediately. So it's seeing how long I can survive that urge, right, to chomp down on it. There's a point where if you suck on it long enough, the coating gets thin enough to where it starts to elongate, and it's a very weird experience.
Never made it that far.
It's a weird experience to have something in your mouth and have it just start expanding.
Have it elongating.
It's a weird
I popped this
experience.
in my mouth and it's now elongating. There
you go.
And I really want to bite it.
And oddly enough, it's not a chode. All right. I think we've had enough fun with Tootsie. That's about as much fun as we can have with Tootsie Rolls,
I'm pretty sure that that's it. Yep.
I think we handled it. Let's go one time around real quick and we'll be done. Best candy. Go. Just best candy across the board.
When I'm packing a cooler to go on a boat, go to a ball game, something, I usually have Wiley Wallaby, red licorice, and Snickers bars.
Okay.
So
Okay.
those are my go-to. I might think I like Reese's Cups better, but when I'm actually in the store with the whole variety, I'm taking Wiley Wallaby and Snickers.
Okay. All right.
I will always love a candy that you can't really get.
Oh, here it comes. I
Anywhere.
know what it is. I know what it is.
It's the Chico stick.
The Chico stick.
It's the Chico stick.
Really?
Yep.
Which, familiar?
I'm not.
Kind of like a Butterfinger.
It's like the inside of a Butterfinger with
Yep.
no chocolate, but there's also like a tiny bit of coconut in it.
Yeah, well,
and
there's
I don't like coconut.
Yeah.
But
There's a coconut. It's like rolled in very fine shredded coconut. Not like chunks of coconut, like very like a dusting of coconut.
it's just like a crunchy bar.
Yeah.
They're great.
They are great. They are great. Bill, over to you.
Mounds.
Oh, see, now I was wondering where the
Big on the
mounds-
coconut. Big on the coconut. Like that. Less. Okay. Almond Joy would be like second, but I like Mounds better.
So you don't feel like a nut.
I don't feel like a nut.
It's interesting.
Sometimes you do. Sometimes you don't.
Why do you dislike the nut?
I don't dislike it. I just prefer it.
You know, Bill, that might be the worst fucking candy.
I was kind of thinking the same thing.
That's all right.
I don't think my eyebrows could go any higher when you said that.
Well, I didn't say what terrible candies do you like. I said what is the best. The tippy top of the candy. You
At
put
least
the
the Almond
mound?
Joy has an almond
Well,
to
that's the
redeem
thing.
it.
Yeah, okay. But it's you like if it was between that and Reese's peanut butter cups, are you
Interesting.
ever gonna turn down a Reese's peanut butter cup? I would never turn it down.
No.
I do like the Mounds though.
You do like the mounds. That's interesting.
Coconut.
That's
I mean,
who's
it's,
buying
I
them.
like coconut.
it's wrong, but it's okay.
Coconut is not candy.
Oh,
Decidedly coconut.
I disagree. Marshmallow is not candy.
Oh yeah.
Marshmallow is not.
Marshmallow's more candy than coconut.
No, marshmallow is. Well, I mean,
What
Marshmallow
fucking
is
world
taffy.
you live in?
marshmallow is the worst.
It
Marshmallow
doesn't
is
mean
the
it's not
worst.
candy.
I don't know.
In your Lucky Charms,
No, see, no. Marshmallow.
putting candy in your cereal.
That's like saying that Jello is candy. Jello is not candy.
Jello is water and gelatin.
Jello. What do you think a marshmallow is? They just added some more
Taffy.
sugar to it. It's not a taffy though. It's literally just
Puff
sugar.
That's all it is.
No, granted, cotton
And
candy.
if you work it
all
like you do
right,
taffy, it turns into a taffy.
But that's different. You're now doing. If you take
processing the
If you
marshmallow.
take a Reese's and you start freaking working it like taffy, it probably also turns into something else.
Now you've given me a
Richard
life
Gere.
goal.
Richard Gere.
That's
It
a
does-
life goal there.
Anyways, I think we've said Richard Gere enough times to say that this is probably the end of this episode. Bill, thank you for coming on.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's okay. We went places.
Boy, did we.
Yes, we did. Boutros, Scotty Pizza.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you as well. And over to Gabriel Johnson.
Dave, like, thanks for letting me see your Tootsie Roll.
You mean my butt flop?
Still disappointed that wasn't it.
I just can't believe it's not. I was very disappointed as well. I cannot believe it's not. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for this episode. We'll be back in a couple weeks. We got a couple things coming up. Scotty with the news is again. However, in a couple weeks, we'll be getting to 1994. So send us off your favorite 1994 stuff. If it is the Tootsie Roll, send it our way. We'll talk about 95 South some more. Can you believe the Woot? There it is. I can't even believe that. Woot. There it is. I always thought it was Whoop, by the way.
Yeah. Woot, not hoot.
I thought you said hoot during the episode.
Oh, it is Hoot. Well, it's WHOOT. That's not Hoot.
It's hoot.
That's Hoot. That's Hoot. That's Hoot.
Like cool whip.
Yeah.
Why am I saying footwear?
There it is.
Good God, we're out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. And with that, we're done. So anyway, the Hoot, right? Hoot. What the heck?
Yeah, that's stupid.
Hooch doesn't have a W though.
But
Like,
no,
hoot
hoot,
is a
no,
word.
hoot. Yeah, hoot. Hoot is a thing.
Hoot is something the Tootsie Pop owl says.
Yes,
Or any owl for that matter.
Right.
Yes.
However, in the goddamn Tootsie Roll, they say hoop. WHOOP. In Tootsie Roll, it's hoop.
Oh, it's hoop.
95. No, in Tootsie Roll, it is hoop. WHOOP. In Tag Team, it's hoomp.
MP.
And in freaking 95 South, it's goddamn hoot.
I can't keep.
What
up.
is happening?
I have no idea.
No wonder why that phrase just disappeared.
See that little R after the roll?
yeah,
That's what's happening.
Absolutely. No, that's not bad.
I've done worse.
We know that.
I honestly learned something today.
Yeah.
I did not know that Tootsie Roll meant nipple.
Had no idea.
It's a common slang.
Yeah. Apparently in 95 South.
In 95 South.
Yeah,
it
you
is-
take that thing and that little nibble there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see it now.
I don't know if in the song it is. In the song, they're referring to some kind of weird dance that is not the butterfly or the butt flop.
That's a sad state.
It really is.
Stop dancing. Let me see your nipple.
That's better. No. Butt flop. Just once, because I want to learn what the hell that is.
All right. Scott's got research here.
Well, it was Gary Glitter.
Is the man that pooped?
That's the
Is
pervert.
not the man that pooped.
Richard Gere exonerated.
It wasn't
Gear,
Richard
Glitter.
Gere. It was Gary Glitter.
No, Gary Glitter he was a glam rock singer who, hold on, let's see. The song was Rock and Roll.
Part 2.
Okay, at least you got the
Rock and Roll
part
Part
right.
2.
Okay, yeah. Oh, wow.
Yep, that one. Used to be played at sporting events until.
They stopped playing it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
That's
went
why
to,
I haven't heard that.
He went to prison, and
That's
that
also a
song
jock
was
jam.
banned.
Yeah, you made the beginning of the episode really weird with that, but that's okay. That's
Yeah,
okay.
so that guy went to jail for 16 years, and he was just recently released in March or May. And he was out for about 3 weeks before he went back to jail, because one of the first things he did was go on the internet and start looking up. He did it again. They let him out, and he was like, look at it all.
Oh, it's all right here. Let's see what's happened in the last 16 years.
And they were-
Progress.
Oh, that's a butt flop. I know what that is now.
Oh, no, that was what Michael Jackson did. Anyways.
Yep, he was out for about a month.
Unbelievable.
It's all the longer he could make it.
He couldn't make it. Just stop.
Oh, my God. That's it.